Just the LFE playing in the background on the front, left to right. Just on the JBL over there and the other JBL over here. The other JBL that's behind the TCB, and the other TCB at the back of the room. They're not. The amplifier's not switched on. I could switch them on, do another video after this one, or just merge the other video with this one. Get quite a bit of bass over the screen channel, mind you. That it almost kind of reached out and pushing it into my body. Pretty scary. Oh, my audio limiting is cutting in. So you hear that little, what's it there, that little kind of little click 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 or whatever. That's the audio limiters. The problem there, if I were to just play a little bit and then go to the audio limiter. So audio limiters will engage in a second because the dynamic range is really increasing on the Baby Boom LFE.1. I only got the limiter set minus there they are. Because the passive subs are running as a passive, that sound that you hear, click 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 or whatever, it's a little bit more I think it's a little bit more, not lower down, it's a little bit more upper, it's a little bit more up the range, sort of in the frequency range, but it's just audible, that's all. Now if I were to put something like a passive crossover network, I've got several of them, and then were to connect them to the subs, that changes that's going to change the frequency response. So if I were to put pink noise in and see it as it is, and it gives that, starting from the low and roll up, and then it goes flat, wiggle wiggle wiggle, and then it starts to roll off, yeah. But if I were to put the low pass filter on, the sub filter, I think it's 12 dB or 18, I can't remember if it's 12 or 18. I think it's filtered roughly for about 120 hertz, so it should be ideal, should be okay. But it would filter out that noise, that sort of, because I tried them. I think it was months ago. I think I was using them as experiment, just for the screen channels, to do some filtering, just for an experiment short time. And I noticed that when the audio limiters started to engage, it didn't seem like a distracting signal noise coming from, most audio limiters wouldn't produce the output noise, but the DCX is kind of prone to that sort of thing. It shouldn't be doing that. If I were to use, say, like a DEQ's audio limiter, or I've got other Behringers, I think I'm trying to remember the model number, M something, 4600s, something, MDX. I'm not sure if they're MDX 4600s. So it's a compressor audio limiter. So you can set all the thresholds and so forth. And it's got a signal gating on it as well. So it's got signal noise gating on it as well. But the audio limiter is very smooth on it. You don't hear any distracting sort of noise coming from. So if I were to play that again, just got to wait for the scene to pick up. So, might get a bit of bass distortion, but you might notice the clicking sound. There as well. And it sounds like the sub. It sounds like the sub is breaking up or something, but it's not. When I heard that so many times, I thought, oh no, the sub's breaking up. It's broken, but it's not. It's just an artifact distortion that's generated here, and it's just outputting. You don't notice it on middle frequencies or high frequencies. If playing too high, you get a sort of, but not as noticeable as when it's coming out of bass driver, whether it be the screen bass drivers or the sub bass drivers. But if you have a filter on it, you don't notice it then, because that noise is a little bit higher up. That's probably why it's audible. I'm not exactly entirely sure where it's roughly centered. I'd have to. So I've got the system going through the Marantz up here. So I've got the screen computer on, so I'm using the other ADR, as well as other things as well. It's a little bit more complicated. I'll have to use a test disc CD, so I'm going to have to recheck all the calibration levels, because there is a level sort of differences I'm noticing between switching from auxiliary 1 to auxiliary 2. But I had to change the threshold level a little bit lower down on the DCX, down to minus 24, so it was at minus full 15. So that tells me, yeah, I've got to do some, I've got to put a test disc in, because I can't route the REM over to here, up to here, unless I connect the the USB lead that's connected here for computer. That's why it's on computer, and then send it up there. But I'll just use a test disc CD, so it's a lot easier, a lot of huff puffing around. Just get the levels balanced out, get the levels balanced between each AVR, because I'm noticing slight dip, but I can't quite pinpoint where it is. It's very difficult to pinpoint where this kind of clicking distortion noise is coming in. It's maybe not the best way, if you know what I mean. Probably have to use something like a low frequency sine wave. So I've got to switch. I've got to put the bass manager on. So when I use this on multi-channel stereo mode, I can send pink noise to any speaker in the room, any speaker, and test and frequency sweep everything. It's all blue in the face. Let's go sound a little bit loud. 25 hertz sine wave, but I can hear parts of the room rattling a little bit, so I've got a few more things to tighten down, I guess. I hear the clicking now, because the audio limiter is engaging. Turn the fader level down. I don't notice it. I'll hear it now. Maybe if I go a bit closer, it'll probably pick up. Probably hear that, like pop, 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 and probably heard a load of other distortion. I'll play it back on the video, on the playback, probably over one of the screen channels. They can take it, Captain. Yeah, but it's a bit difficult to pinpoint that sort of thing. Yes, simple thing is just to have a low pass filter. So I'll probably just put my low pass other crossover filter. Yeah, so I've got a load of these, 5 of these I think I've got. So I'll use this, connect it on to each sub, and I won't notice, I won't notice it. I won't notice that clicking noise, because the filter is filtering out. Odd thing is when using the Behringer, because I used to have the subs running down on this amp, on this NX B3000, and recently I changed things around. I wouldn't mind getting another one, so I could put it on for the left center, right center, because you got the DSP, you got extra band filter EQs and all that, black sheep. There is a low pass filter on the back of this. I could switch that on. Okay, I've got that filter turned on. Yeah, up to audio limiting. Yeah, so the passive, the filter on the NX, I don't hear that clicking, so I'll go up close to the sub. Don't hear that clicking because it's filtered off. That clicking noise is filtered off, even though the audio limiter is saying, yeah, audio limiting on, but the clicking is obviously, it's hard to say what frequency part of the range it could be in. It could be in the 300 range, it could be in the 500 hertz range, but it sounds confusing because the crossover filter on here is set at a different range, but it's when it's getting to the amplifier it's receiving, and if anyone knows, well, no, I know, and because there's the rest of the frequency range on that amplifier is still open, so to speak. It's still open, so it hasn't got a filter on it, an extra filter on it. But yeah, it's gone now. Okay, so I don't have to wire that passive filter. It saves me wiring that in. I just totally forgot, Just totally forgot, but it's always trial and error, so it won't sound like the sub's cracking up or anything. Yeah. Well, hot weather would do this to you, and then you just got to have a drink. Cheers. Cheers.